Hello dears, and welcome to Mars Musings of this week. We had Mother's Day in Portugal this Sunday, and so it was a lovely inspiration for me to think about setting up your children for the best financial future. And there were three things that really came to me about that. And one of them is, of course, what I've been honing on about, which is compounded interest, putting a money aside for them. It really starts with €100 a month, that if we did that from birth, by the time they're 65, they'll have over $1 million if it's compounding at 7% on average. And it's just such a beautiful way to think about setting your kids up for their financial future. And then, of course, that is using that money, for example, when they're 18, which comes up to, I think, around 80,000. Please play around the calculators, do the numbers, but that allows them either to put a down payment maybe for a place, education, putting some more aside for them to really have university taken care of. All these things are little steps that we can do to set our children up for a bright financial future. That might not be costing us as much today, but we can use the tools of compounding and really making money work for us and your family. The second one I would really say is that they mimic our habits and patterns. A lot of actually the relationship to money factors that I have observed, and of course it's also come through a lot of the work around trauma, around really understanding childhood implications of our really patterns, our behaviors, all come before the age of 7. So all the conversations we're having, the patterns we're having, how we are spending about money, what we're talking about it, comes from that age already. So it's very important to live a good example, to include your children in the conversations as well. So I know a lot of people I've worked with have completely been pushed away from those conversations from young and throughout their lives, and really find it hard to look at money later on. So really opening up these conversations for your children to be a part of it, but also maybe protecting them on the other side from financial matters that might be too stressful for them to take on at those young ages. So if there are financial conflicts, if there's things around money, maybe really keeping those as adult conversations, because it might be too much for a kid to handle as well. So really being able to communicate well around money and understanding what the children can handle and not, and really living through the right patterns and actions for them. And finally, the third point I would say is financial education. And this can come from a young age, such as teaching them how to pay for things, all the way through to their teenage years, if that's through pocket money and different other ways of teaching budgeting and other tools, so they are prepared for when they leave the home. A lot of children are nested at home and might find it difficult later on to step into life, such as opening bank accounts, understanding taxes, all the day-to-day skills that unfortunately our education system is currently not teaching, that could really be embraced to take a step forward for the children and to really kind of set them up for a future that they're able to be on a good foot financially. At least that is taken care of, so that they can step into the world prepared and not with fears or having to take out debts or other things, or feeling behind, let's say, on their education or many other aspects. So if you can start thinking of this from a young age, you can really plan for their future and to really set themselves up for success as it comes along. Of course, I'm really happy to hear from you what you're doing for your children. I'm on a learning journey for my son, and I would love to integrate this for others as well, because it feels so important in this day and age to really know how we set our kids up. And if there's any tips or tricks or tools that you have, please reach out, please share them. I'm really excited for any mothers who are Portuguese or in Portugal. Belated Mother's Day, and of course for any other mothers out there, I am wishing you a happy Mother's Day, no matter where it is, at what point. I think it's really important to also honor the mother throughout this whole journey. Thanks for coming along, thanks for learning, and I look forward to sharing more, excuse me, on next week's Mars Musings.